Hi, this is Mrs. Vandemark, and I have a story to read to you. It's called Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle's Won't Pick Up Toys Cure. I wonder if any of you have toys laying all over your house. I wonder if any of you need the Won't Pick Up Toys cure. Probably not. This story is adapted from Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle's books by Betty MacDonald, and it's illustrated by Bruce Whatley. If you like this story, you'll be able to find a lot more of Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle's stories online or at the library. Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle lives here in our town. She has brown, sparkly eyes and long brown hair, which she usually wears in a knot on the top of her head. She has a dog called Wag and a cat called Lightfoot. But the most remarkable thing about Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle is her house, which is upside down. All the children love Miss Piggle-Wiggle, and Miss Piggle-Wiggle loves them. In fact, Miss Piggle-Wiggle just naturally understands children, which is, of course, why all the parents call Miss Piggle-Wiggle whenever their children are being difficult. Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle always knows exactly what to do to help cure children's bad habits, like not picking up toys, which was Hubert Prentice's bad habit. Oh my, a bad habit. That's not good, but everybody's got them. Hubert was a very lucky boy whose grandfather always sent him wonderful toys for his birthday. Hubert had an electric train with a track that went 4 times around his bedroom. He had a great big wagon full of blocks, and he had 1,500 toy soldiers. He had a wooden circus, a fire engine with real sirens and lights, and so many books that he had to have 2 bookcases in his room. Hubert liked all of his toys, and he generally shared them with his friends, but he never put them away. When Hubert's mother would tell Hubert to pick up his toys, all he ever did was stuff them under his bed or into the closet. Mrs. Prentice was getting tired of picking up all of Hubert's toys, all by herself. One rainy day, Hubert invited his friends over to play. They took out every one of Hubert's toys and played with them all afternoon. Then they went home for dinner, and they didn't put a single toy away. The next time Mrs. Prentice opened the door to Hubert's room, she just looked and looked. Then she went downstairs and she called Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle. When Mrs. Prentice told Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle about Hubert's toys, Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle said, "I think that the best thing for you to use is my old-fashioned won't pick up toys cure. Starting right now, don't pick up any of Hubert's toys, and when his room becomes so messy he can't get out of it, call me." Oh my. So Mrs. Prentice didn't pick up any of Hubert's toys. She baked a chocolate cake instead. And she did not say a word to Hubert about his toys when Hubert's friends came over to play. The next morning, when Hubert came down for breakfast, there was a little pan of paint from his watercolor paint set. The paint was stuck in his hair. Hubert's mother did not say anything. The next morning, Hubert looked as though he hadn't slept very well. The morning after that, Hubert had 2 pans from his paint set stuck to his hair. And he had a red mark on his cheek that was the shape of one of his blocks. Oh, Hubert's mother thought he must have slept on it. He's looking pretty rough. On the 7th day, Hubert didn't come out of his room at all. At 11 o'clock, his mother got worried and called Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle. "Hubert must be trapped in his room," said Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle. "Wait until he calls for food. Then put a piece of dry bread with peanut butter on a garden rake and poke it through his window. He'll have to drink out of the hose." When Miss Prentice hung up the telephone, she heard Hubert shouting, "Mother, I'm hungry." So she got a crusty piece of bread, spread some peanut butter on it, and took it around to the side of the house. Soon, a hand and an arm appeared at Hubert's window. The hand found the bread, grabbed it off the rake, and then banged the window shut. That night, Hubert's mother stuck his meat and potatoes and vegetables on a rake, and his father pushed the hose through the window. It took Hubert a long time to reach the window. The next day, around 2 o'clock, Hubert heard music and children's voices laughing and calling from the outside. When he finally managed to look out the window, he saw Miss Piggle-Wiggle and all of his friends, and right behind them came a circus parade. "Hurry, hurry," called Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle. "We're all marching to the circus. Hurry, Hubert." But Hubert couldn't get out of his room. There were too many train cars and blocks and toy soldiers and books in his way. He could hear the music getting farther and farther away. And Hubert began to cry. Then he heard a tap at the window. It was the rake with a note on it. It said, "Dear Hubert, the only way to get out of that trap is to put everything away where it belongs. If you hurry, we will wait for you. Your friend, Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle." Hubert put away his blocks, his train cars, his paints, his circus, and his books. He made his bed and he put away the toy soldiers. He was just putting away his very last toy when he heard the music again. He put the toy in the box, he put the box in the closet, and he tore down the stairs and out the front door. Aw, look how happy he looks now. And wow, his room looks so clean. There they came, Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle, all of the children, and the circus. Hubert ran to meet them, and away they went down the street with Hubert carrying the flag and yelling the loudest. And no one said anything at all about the pan of orange paint stuck in his hair. The end.